Thank you. Thank you, Jill. And hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. So once again, my name is Julia, and I work at Nevosoft, which is a leading Russian developer and publisher. So today I'm going to speak about sex and the App Store. I will show how publishing mobile games is exactly like dating. Just out of the curiosity, how many of you were attracted here by the word sex? Okay, that was the right choice. So publishing is not as simple as it can seem. With almost 600,000 apps already published on the App Store, just having a great product is not enough. I'll tell you what we at Nevosoft do to help a good game reach millions of users, climb the charts, and of course earn a lot of money. So here I have pink slides and blue slides. The blue ones contain statistics, graphics, figures, so they're kind of serious ones. The pink slides are about sex. I'm actually going to tell you everything I know about dates. So how to get a date, how to make it successful, how to probably make it end the way you want it to end. So please, when I'm telling you about sex, think about the App Store, and vice versa. When I'm telling you about the App Store, think about sex. You'll see how easy it is as soon as you get the idea. Let me start. Let's say we have a good game. So there is the App Store, there are users, there are potential customers. What should we do to make everything happen? Let's think what we do in real life when we want everything to happen. I think very much depends on whether you know what and whom you want or not. For example, if I like bodybuilders, it would be silly to try to search for them in the library. I'd better go to the gym. Or if you think that a woman of your dream has to know how to cook, well, you try to apply for some cooking class and try to search for her there. Because as soon as you know what you want, everything is easier. What happens when a user who knows what kind of games he or she likes go to the App Store? Probably he or she will try to search for it. And will the given game be in search result? Depends on the publisher, or to be more precise, on the title and the keywords. For example, if you search for hidden objects, all the hidden object games published by Nevosoft will be displayed on the first page. So users will be surrounded with potential dates, with games that they might like. Let's imagine that we go to the place full of potential dates. So gym, a party, whatever, or an IT conference for a girl maybe. And so now there are a lot of them around you, but the question is, how will you recognize the one? I want everybody to ask yourself a question. What do you look at first when you see a person of the opposite gender? Just ask yourself. I actually already asked a bunch of people, and let's watch what they answered. What do you look at first when you see a guy?
Probably eyes.
In the face?
Face, yeah. Yeah.
What do you look at first when you see a girl?
What kind of shoes she has.
It's the belly.
Her clothes.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm gonna answer this.
Overall appearance, like if they look like they take care of themselves and they're dressed pretty well.
Smile.
Hair. And then for the face. Absolutely.
Face.
I don't know.
She has to be fashionable.
Scarves. Woolen things.
And heels. Fur coats and heels. There you go.
Their face, generally, I guess. I don't know, does he have all his teeth? That's always important.
Clothes.
Maybe the eye area?
Probably the eyes and the smile.
What do you look first at when you see a girl?
Well, it's got to be the face, but if I like the face, I normally turn around and check out the butt as well.
So to sum this all up, we can say that appearance matters. When we first see a person of the opposite gender, we look at the face, at the body, at the clothes, at anything, which is the appearance. On the App Store, it's actually all the same. Users get their first impression from the icon. The icon is the face of the game. And, well, if they like the face, they might check out the butt, you know. They can go to the game page and on the iTunes and actually check out the screenshots and description and everything you actually put there. So, well, what we do, we usually try to make our icons look perfect. Sometimes we have like 100 or 200 different variants of the icon till we finally have the perfect one. Actually, a couple of months ago, I talked to guys from Rovio, and they told me that when they were preparing Angry Birds for the initial release at the end of 2009, they looked at the App Store map and they noticed that all the icons were blue or a kind of blue. So what they did, they made a red icon, which was very noticeable. So screenshots. Fortunately, Apple allows display not just screenshots, but you can make a collage, and we usually add taglines, and well, it all seems pretty simple, but if you just, next time you go to the App Store, just look at different apps, especially those which are not on top 100 or something. It's very sad, actually, when you see just 2 simple screenshots out of 5 possible. I mean, this is the appearance of the game, and whether a user likes it or not depends on, it will actually define if this user asked the game out or, I mean, downloaded it. So, what else can help us to get a date? Of course, the better we look, the more chances we have, but let's just think, who doesn't have any problems with getting a date? I think Brad Pitt doesn't, or Justin Timberlake doesn't have any problems. I think any celebrity doesn't have problems with that. That's because they're famous, and it always makes things easier. You know, I used to work at the radio as a host of the morning show, and, well, it was, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago. But even now, when when I'm interested in somebody, and I always mention this fact, and it always works. So the same happens on the App Store. If a user read a nice review on a popular portal about the game, he or she is more likely to download the game because the game becomes famous. That's why we distribute press releases. We make sure that our games have at least 10 different reviews on different websites. We also have subscribers, and so what we do, we let people know about the new awesome game we publish. So, let's imagine, so you meet a potential date, you like her icon, her screenshots, you like everything, but what happens next? Well, eventually you have to start talking, and you will try to find something in common. Well, I think that you have to have at least the language in common. It's much easier when you two speak the same language. Last year, when I came here to Hamburg for the first time, I was actually surprised that not many people speak English. I was lost underground with a huge suitcase, and I was trying to find a way out, and like I spent half an hour trying to ask people, like, where should I go? Nobody could understand me. Well, finally, I managed to understand German because I wanted to survive. I didn't have a choice, and I found my way out. But, well, if you have localizations, it makes things easier. Of course, the US market is the largest, but thinking that people all over the world speak English is nice, but it's not true. So we usually localize our games into 10 and at least 10 languages. I have a good example. Probably you all know the great game Where is My Water by Disney. It was launched in September 2011, and it was available in English only. And only after 4 days, it managed to become #1 in top paid category in 68 countries. Yeah, so, I mean, it's possible, also possible. But what happened after a couple of months? They actually released localized versions. So, for example, now we have this game in Russian. The title is in Russian. The description is in Russian. Everything is in Russian. And I think they know what they do at Disney. So we speak the language our users speak. Okay, so you've met, you liked the icon, you made the first impression probably, and you started to talk, and well, luckily you can talk at the same language, but you have to know what to talk about, right? So if, for example, it's your friend who introduced you to someone, you can get some tips. Or, well, an ideal situation. For example, my ex called me and told me, like, you know, I know that guy who is exactly like me, but he's smarter, he's more cute, and doesn't hide his socks all around the apartment. You know, I would definitely like to meet that guy, because, well, on the App Store, it's called cross-promotion. We make sure that we cross-promote our games in the descriptions. And besides, we have a banner ad network, which is our network. So it's a banner which is integrated into game interface. It doesn't interfere with the gameplay. And the CTR, the average CTR is about 10%, which is a huge number for a banner. And the point is that we know which game should be advertised. For example, we have a very successful strategy. And we know that users who downloaded this game or probably spent some money, they already like playing and they love strategies. So next time we launch our new strategy, we make sure those users know about our new game. And they would probably go and download it as well. Of course, there are a lot of things which can go wrong during the date, but there are also some stuff you can do to make it more successful. Well, for example, I meet a guy at the bar, let's say, yeah, and so he starts buying drinks for me. Well, it's not that all the girls like free stuff, but on the other hand, who doesn't? But it's called, I would call it the right strategy. On the App Store, it's called the pricing strategy. It's commonly used on the App Store, and well, anybody, actually people who don't do anything else, they usually use this strategy because it's like when the game is released as a free app, then you make it paid, then you make it free again, and well, vice versa. So here's a graph of our title Super Cow, which was initially released as a paid app. Then we made it free, and as you can see, we managed to increase the amount of sales after. And besides, we used those that traffic which we got to promote our other titles. So the point is, you should know where and when to use it. So you should use this tool very wisely. What if a date finally happened? So a lot of users obviously had successful dates with our Super Cow. So what if a date happened? And let's say you went all the way and woke up happy the next morning, and guess what's the first thing a girl is going to do the next morning? Well, actually, you know, my experience says that guys do this a lot, but they try to, you know, not to brag about it. They say, no, we never do this. They do. So the first thing, actually, a girl does the next morning is she calls her friend and tells her how it all happened. So I would call and say, like, yeah, that guy was so cool. He was like, it was fantastic. We had so much fun. Well, to make her jealous or just to share, you know, or to to help her believe that there are still guys out there and that she should just hope and do something. It's very important that players can share their feelings about the game they like. So just imagine if, for example, 100 of users like a game on Facebook, and every of them has, well, about 100 friends. So you get about 10,000 brand contacts for free. And what's weird is that though social networks prove to be one of the most effective marketing tools, still only about 20% of all the iOS apps have the social networks integrated. That's weird, 20%. I mean, we integrate social networks in every game we launch. So, getting back to the sex part. Let's assume that we managed to get a date and have sex, and now we'll have to discuss what happens next. Well, if anything happens. Well, I'm speaking about the relationship here. I think that every guy knows that it's very important what you say at the first day or any date after, because we women, we remember everything, and we analyze everything. And I think only women can say something like, remember in November, it was Friday and we were at that bar and you were staring at that blondie for like 30 seconds. I didn't say anything back then, but now, I think it sounds pretty familiar. Because we really memorize everything you say and then analyze it. Then we think about what it could mean. And that's what we do at Nevosoft. We keep track of everything, and we integrate analytics tools, and then we can see when, for example, users close the app or when they are ready to pay more. And that's how we can make games better. That's how we can monetize them better. So, let's say you have a relationship. By the way, it's not a proposal. I'm speaking about sex here, not about marriage. So, anyway, if you want to have a relationship, you have to work on it. You have to make surprises. It's an illustration of a surprise. So you have to make surprises. You have to keep the person interested. So you shouldn't just relax and enjoy it. It never works like that. So as we want to keep our players interested, we prepare an update schedule just before we launch the game, and then we release updates regularly. It's great, and here you can see how it influences, especially now when Apple changed the rules a little bit again, and now an update appears to be like a new app. So, of course, no matter how hard you try, something can still go wrong. And if something went wrong, if he didn't call the next morning, for example, or whatever, so it's nice to have a friend's support. So friends can always help. And something always goes wrong with the game. It's just no matter how perfect it is, something always goes wrong. That's why we support our users, and tech support is available on all the languages, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So even if anything goes wrong, we know how to help our players. And finally, one more thing I want to tell you about. You know, to have a lot of dates or to have a successful relationship, you have always work on yourself. So you have to take care of yourself, of your appearance, to look good, to, I don't know, to be a smart person to talk to. So that's how you can get lots of dates or have relationship. And you know that girls are often late for the dates. It's not because we're too slow. No, that's because we try to look perfect. We try to be prepared, you know. And on the App Store, when you publish a game, it's quite the same. But a little bit different. I want to give an example. Just last week, my friend went to a master class. It was a makeup master class. By the way, it's funny, but the cosmetic brand is called MAC. So she looked great after that. But then they told her so how much it costs to look like this every day. And it was like $500. As I've told you, on the App Store, it's all the same, but the budget is a bit different. So to do what all the things I've told you about, it takes about 2 weeks, and it's a team of 10 people working on it, and the minimum budget is $10,000. It's just the minimum to prepare the game for the release. And of course, after we launch a game, we spend more on marketing, and then we analyze the results, and well, if the results are great, we can invest more. And as a publisher, Nevosoft takes the initial expenses and covers these initial expenses. So as you can see, we're pretty successful in what we do. So these are 3 titles published by Nevosoft, which were #1 in top 3 US. It happened like last 3 months. And to sum this all up, I can say that millions of players have already had a lot of dates with our games. So if you have a game and if you want it to be asked out often, if you want it to have a bright sexual life, we'll be glad to help you. So make a choice, and thank you. So now, if we have some time, so if any of you have questions about dates or publishing, whatever, I'll try to answer.
One question.
Could you please speak to the microphone?
Hello, Andreas from a publishing company in Hamburg. You told us that Apple takes now updates like real apps. Is this an implication for the new and noteworthy section of the App Store? So the updates get handled like real new apps?
Well, as far as I know, new updates are now listed in the list of new apps.
So the new and noteworthy section is just a compilation of all the apps that have a high boost in the beginning?
Once again, please.
The new and noteworthy apps, the apps that appear in this section, these are all the apps that have a high boost in the beginning, like apps that sell a few thousand copies a day in the first days, or is it an editorial decision by Apple?
Well, as far as I know, it's like all the apps. Just it depends. For example, if the game is very popular and has this boost, well, it will be just higher. But well, anyway, it will be in the list of new apps.
So okay. To understand it right, the list of new apps, new and noteworthy, is just the most successful.
No,
new
it's
apps.
not new, not noteworthy, just new apps.
Okay, no, I'm just talking about the new and noteworthy section, because I just can't get how these apps are.
So you wonder how apps get to this category?
Because sometimes we were in this category and sometimes not. Some bad apps were in, some good ones not. We just don't know how it functions.
Well, it's as far as I know, Apple decides which games, which apps are worth displaying in that category or not. And well, there are no rules. I mean, there are no rules which you can follow and get there like anyhow. Anyway, no.
So it's not dependent on download numbers of the first days or something like that.
Well, for example, if your game was downloaded millions of times, at the first day, it just have more chances to be noticed by Apple because they have a lot of apps every day. So now, in this case, you have more chances to be noticed. And if they notice and if they like it, then they can promote it, then can feature it.
Okay, so it's just an editorial decision, not a mechanism, not an automatism.
No.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, then thank you very much for coming.
Wait, I got one.
Okay.
Hallo Andreas übrigens. The Facebook thing is we are an iOS publisher. We just do iOS games. We have a good portfolio, and we always think, should we make a Facebook company page? And I just had a look at your page, which is looking really nice, and I can see you're working on it since February, and you have like 163 likes. And we have looked at many other publishers' Facebook pages in the last months, and we haven't really found any that were successful, like really attracting a lot of people if you were solely only offering mobile games. So the question that we have is, do we have good cases of publishers where you have like 10,000s of likes?
Okay, thank you for the question. So when we integrate social elements in every game, it's not that it leads to the Facebook page of the company. So people can like the game itself. So it appears then on his page, on his or her page.
So with a direct link to the App Store.
So no, they like, they press like button, for example, in a game, and then it appears, so it's connected to their Facebook profile, and this, so it appears that somebody liked this game, or this feature, or something like that. So it's pretty difficult to actually calculate all the people. It's not about the publisher page.
Okay, I understand. Good.
Thank you. Okay, thanks a lot.